Hello, students. We have started this personality topic in the last class, and in that, we have already covered meaning and definition of personality, its factors, and different classifications or types of personality. Let me remind you about that, whatever we did in the last class. The personality word is derived from Latin word persona, the meaning of which was a mask used by the actors while role playing in the theaters. Then we discussed about the definition that was given by Alport, that personality can be defined as a dynamic organization within the individual of those psychophysical systems that determine his unique adjustment with the environment. Then, after this definition, we talked about the factors affecting personality, and that includes genetic factor, family, society, culture, and personal experiences. Then we explained some of the classifications that were given by different psychologists, like Hippocrates classification. He gave four types of personality. Jung gave two types of personality. Ising described three types of personality. Then Kreshmer described four types of personality, and Sheldon explained personality on the basis of two structure, physical and temperament. So now in today's class, we are going to start with the approaches or the theories of personality. So there are mainly six approaches of personality, in which the first approach is type approach, second approach is trait approach, third type cum trait, fourth developmental approach, fifth behavior learning approach, and the sixth is humanistic approach. In type approach, that we have already covered. Basically, if in your exams the question comes, uh, classification of personality, types of personality, or explain approach of personality, you are going to write the same answer, that is the classifications given by different theories. That means Hippocrates classification, Jung, Ising, and Kreshmer and Sheldon. Now we are going to in today's class we are going to discuss trait approach and type cum trait approach. So in this, let's start with the trait approach. Trait approach. In trait approach, we are going to uh, talk about the definition on trait that is given by Alport, Cattell, and FFI, that is 5-factor inventory. This is the one of the easiest method that I am telling you just to learn this personality topic. I'll share my notes with all of you also. So first of all, before we are going to talk about these Alport's definition, Cattell and FFI, let's talk about this trait. What is the meaning of trait? Trait simply means the quality. Every person is having some kind of tendencies in their behavior, and these tendencies are called as the qualities. So whatever quality we possess in our behavior, and specifically if XYZ a quality that is a you can say the most stable tendency, is called as the trait of that person. So basically, in the trait approach, personality is received in terms of some traits, like when I say I am an honest person, shy, lazy, dull, dependent, so that means these are the person's trait. And that is why the traits are defined as relatively permanent and constant behavioral patterns that the individual exhibits in many situations. And these behavioral patterns are considered as the basic unit of personality. For example, if I'll say that I am a lazy person, so that means laziness is a behavior trait of my personality. Or if I am saying that I am an honest person, that means honesty is a behavior trait of my personality. So this is the basic concept about trait. So trait means simply means the quality that you possess in your behavior, and that should be the most stable and constant quality in your behavior. So now we are going to discuss the Alport's what Alport said about this trait. Let me explain you in the simplest form what he said. He was the first person who adopted trait approach. Trait approach. Then what he said that all of us have all of us have some unique set unique set of qualities. It's a normal thing that all of us have some different unique set of qualities. From those unique set of qualities, the qualities that remain constant or stable in most of situations is called as trait. So what he said basically that all of us have a certain set of qualities. From those certain set of qualities, the qualities that remain same in most of the situation, these qualities are called as the particular or permanent trait of that person. I hope now the trait concept is clear to everyone, and this definition of trait was given by Alport, that all of us have different sets of traits. From those different sets of traits, the traits that remain stable in most of the situations are called as the trait. Then Cattell also discussed about the trait. Basically, Cattell was an American psychologist, and what he said that, first of all, I'm just going to discuss the thing in a simplest form. According to Cattell, what he said that all of us face different situations in our life, and when we are going to face different situations, how we are going to react towards that situations, that reaction, that means that comes in our behavior, that is called our reaction. That reaction is called as the trait. Let me clear more about this thing, that whenever any situation comes in front of us, and then how we are going to react towards that situation, that our reaction, our, you can say, and that comes from our behavior, means whatever we have learned earlier, and that reaction is called as the trait of my personality. So that means, according to Cattell, the personality inferred from behavior in different situation different situations is called as trait. So see the difference between these two people. Alport said that all of us have many traits, and from those traits, the traits which are more constant, more stable, are called as the trait. On the other hand, Cattell said that the reaction toward the situation, and that comes from our behavior, those reactions are called as the trait of someone's personality. Then Cattell also described four types of traits. He described four types of trait: common traits, unique trait, source trait, and surface trait. Common traits means the qualities which are common in everyone. Unique traits means the qualities that shows a uniqueness, means on the basis of which traits we can differentiate one person with the another. Source traits means if these source traits we cannot find out the source trait in a person just by superficially. If I need to find out the source trait in a person, I must apply some personality test on that person to find out the source traits in that person's behavior. Surface traits means the traits which are on surface, means if I'm going to see that person, I'll be able to say that this person is like this only, means that I can see that I can, you can say, feel in a person's personality. So this is all about the cattails. Now the last trait approach is, that is, five factor inventory. Five factor inventory, basically FFI, is a uh, test to assess personality. A few years back, basically, let me tell you this FFI in a story form. Few years back, around in 1930s, there was a list of 4500 traits. Around 1930s, there was a list of 4500 traits, and it was very difficult for the psychologist to assess these 4500 traits in a person at one time. And what they did, they started doing research on these 4500 traits. Why? Just to sum up these traits, so that they can just they can just sum up these 4500 traits into the few traits. So this research was continued for 50 years, and in around 1990s they were able to give five traits. One-sided 4500 traits were there, and 50 years research was continuously going on, and at last they said that yes, five factor inventory, these are the five traits with the help of which we can assess someone's personality. And these five factor inventory is called as ocean, OCEAN, in which O for openness, C for conscientiousness, E for extroversion, A for agreeableness, and N for neuroticism. So these are the five factors, five traits that we can assess with the help of this five factor inventory. So this is about five factor inventory. Now when this five factor inventory came, there were some you can say uh, main issues about this five factor inventory. And these, basically, there were some issues related with this trait approach. What other theories said about this trait approach? First criticism of trait approach was, let me describe you. First criticism of trait approach was that psychologists said that although traits are stable, because as we are already discussing about this thing, that when Alport or Kettle were saying that these are the stable tendencies. So one side we are saying that traits are stable, but on the other hand, when Alport was talking about the definition of personality, if you are able to recall that, he said that it can be defined as a dynamic organization. So this was the criticism, main criticism about this theory, that one side you are talking about the traits and you are talking that traits are stable tendencies. On the other hand, you cannot say that traits are always going to remain stable, because when we are living in this world, we are going to face many situations in front of us. While facing the situations, it may be that we need to change our traits. So this was the first criticism. Then the second criticism says that personality traits are both changeable and stable. Actually, before the age of 30, according to the researches, it is very easy to change the traits. But once a person is going to cross the 30 age, the traits start becoming stable, and it is very difficult to change those traits till the moment the person himself don't want to change them. So that means traits are, we cannot say that traits are only stable or changeable. These are both stable as well as changeable. Then some of the psychologists said that genetic factors plays an important role in these traits. But then another psychologist said that yes, no doubt, genetic factor plays important role in the development of traits, But they also said that, as we have already covered in the factors affecting personality, that first factor is genetic, but side by side environment factor also plays important role in the development of personality. So and if we are going to talk about the traits are very useful, you can say, qualities, that they are going to provide us the information related with that person's behavior. So overall, trait approach, if I'm going to conclude this trait approach can be defined as a certain set of stable tendencies or the qualities of a person that a person possess in his or her behavior. So this is about trait approach. I hope now this trait approach is clear to all of you. And now, after discussing about this trait approach, let's start with the type come trait approach. The third approach is type come trait approach. See, in the first approach, we talked about different types, means different classifications that were given by Hippocrates, Jung, Ising, and Kretschmer and Sheldon. In trait approach, we discussed about certain sets of tendencies. In that, Alport, Kettle, and five factor inventory played important role. Now, the third approach is type come trait approach, means there is an approach in which we are going to talk about types as well as traits. And this approach was given by Ising. Now, if you are able to recall the type approach that was given by Ising, what he did, he said basically he accepted the classification given by Jung, and Jung defined two types of personality, that was introvert and extrovert. And then he added one more in that. So this was the classification or types that was given by Ising. He gave only two. He accepted the classification given by Jung. So that means we cannot change these two traits, because this is the classification that he has already picked up from someone. But what he did, he wanted to make or develop his own approach. So that is why what he did, he wanted to, you can say, change this ambivert type into traits. So that is why he started using factor analysis method. Factor analysis method is basically a statistical method with the help of which we can change any type into trait and trait into types. So what he did, he used factor analysis method on this ambivert type, and he changed this type into trait. And these two traits are stable and unstable. So now we have these two types and these two traits. I hope now it is clear to everyone why this is called as type come trait approach. Then he added these two dimensions with the types. Now we have four type come trait. First is stable introvert. Second is unstable introvert. Third is stable extrovert. Fourth is unstable extrovert. So now we have four dimensions of type come trait approach, that is stable introvert, stable extrovert, and unstable extrovert. And then See, we already know the what are the qualities that comes under introvert and extrovert. Introvert means the people who are less social, less active, less practical, slow decision maker. Extrovert are the people who are very social, very practical, diplomats, much talkative, very social. So now when we are having some traits with the types, stable means the person who remains stable, means every time these people are like this. Unstable introvert means sometime they can change their attitudes, they can change their qualities. Stable extrovert means yes, most of the time they are like this only, means they are, if they are social, that means they are social, if they are talkative, that means they are talkative. And about unstable extrovert, sometime they are able to change their personality. And again, he conducted a study on all these four traits, and he said that if a person who is unstable introvert, that person can develop the feelings of depression, emotional instability, and inferiority complex, because they are not stable. So when you are not stable in your life, then definitely you are going to develop some kind of symptoms in your mind. So according to Ising, if XYZ person is unstable introvert, then he can develop some kinds of feelings of depression, emotional instability, and inferiority complex. Same thing happened with the unstable extrovert also, because one side extrovert means if they are extrovert, but unstable means they don't have any stability in their behavior, and these kinds of people can show criminal behavior, destructive behavior, and irritating symptoms. So, if XYZ person, if we want to remain a healthy person, then we must work on our personality traits, means we must behave either in a stable introvert form or stable extrovert form. Otherwise, this is going to create imbalance in our life. So, this is all about type cum trait approach. I'm going to revise this approach, these two approach. First of all, we talked about just one second. We talked about Alport approach, uh, trait approach, in which we talked about Alport, Kettle, and FFI. Trait approach, basically trait means qualities, in which we discussed about Alport, Kettle, and five factor inventory. Alport was the first person who adopted trait approach. According to Alport, what he said, that all of us have some unique set of qualities. From those set of qualities, the traits, the qualities that remain stable and constant in most of the situations are called as the traits. On the other hand, Kettle said that, he was an American psychologist. He said that the personality inferred from the behavior in different situations, means whenever we came across in the different situations, and whatever we react, basically our reactions towards the different situations is called as the trait. He also explained four types of traits: common, unique, source, and surface. Then five factor inventory in 1930s, there was a list of 4500 traits, and psychologists did research on that, so that they can sum up with the fewest traits. And around 50 years research was going on, and in 1990s they were able to sum up these traits into five traits, and this is called as five factor inventory. The name of that inventory is Ocean. O for openness, conscientiousness, extroversion, agreeableness, and neuroticism. There were also some criticism of this theory. First of all, traits, when these are the psychologists who are saying that traits should be permanent or constant or stable, but on the other hand, we are saying that in different situations our personality is constantly changing. So, how can we say that traits are stable? Then next, some of the psychologists, they are saying that traits are genetic, but traits are the Environmental factor also plays important role in the development of personality. Then we discussed about this type cum trait approach. This was given by Isaac. He explained three types of personality in which he accepted the classification given by Jung: introvert and extrovert. Then the third type was given by Isaac only, on which he applied factor analysis method, and with the help of factor analysis method he was able to make two dimensions of this ambivert type. These two dimensions were stable and unstable, and on the basis of these two dimensions he was able to make his approach, that is type cum trait approach. Now we have four dimensions of type cum trait approach: stable introvert, unstable introvert, stable extrovert, and unstable extrovert. Further, he also studied on these four dimensions, and finally he said that the person who have unstable introvert qualities, these people can develop some symptoms of depression, emotional instability, and inferiority complex in the future. Same thing happen with the unstable extrovert personalities also. They can develop some kind of criminal and destructive behavior with some irritating symptoms. This is all about type trait approach and type cum trait approach. In the next video, we are going to talk about the developmental approach. Till then, take care. Bye bye. If you have any doubt, you can just ask from me or write me in the comment section. Take care. Bye bye.